My little sister wanted hot pot, so the whole family went along with her. Because of some small issue, she started yelling at the waiter. The waiter came over with a pot of boiling water and poured it on her face. My sister pulled me in front of her, and I ended up getting scalded all over. Later, they wrote a letter of forgiveness for the waiter to make themselves look good. And they broke my legs, filming me daily to post online. The more miserable I was, the more money strangers on the internet donated. They tortured me until I died. When I opened my eyes again, my little sister was once more yelling at the waiter. I didn't intervene. I quickly went to the bathroom. My real dad came over with a pot of boiling oil and poured it on me. My mom and sister chained my limbs so I couldn't move. My body was instantly covered in red and filled with blisters. I screamed and begged them to stop. My sister, smiling sweetly, said, "Sister, hang in there a bit longer. We can make a lot of money soon." My mom sighed. "I didn't expect people to like misery. Your burns aren't bad enough. Cutting out your tongue wasn't enough either. Sweetheart, once we reach 5 million, we'll stop." I screamed and cried, my eyes full of hatred. These were my family, the ones I held dear. My dad slapped me hard. "I gave you life, what's a little oil? It won't kill you. Why are you screaming?" I glared at him, wishing I could rise up and kill them all. "You dare glare at your father? I'll beat you to death," he said, grabbing a nearby stick and hitting me. The blisters burst and blood splattered everywhere. The pain made it hard to breathe, yet my sister mockingly said, "How can you glare at Dad? He gave you life, you need to be obedient." I stared at them, filled with hatred, until my own father beat me to death. Death was a relief of sorts. If only I could drag them to hell with me, I would give it all. When I opened my eyes again, my sister was yelling at the waiter. Looking at the waiter with his head bowed, I smiled. This time it's their turn to go to hell. Sister Lily sneered, "Are you blind? Can't you see the soup is burnt dry? You're getting paid for doing nothing. Believe me, I'll get you fired." Lily always was like that, never letting things slide, never taking a loss lightly. The waiter quietly explained, "Sorry, we're a bit busy now. I'll grab some broth from the kitchen." Lily snorted, "With your skill, you'll be a waiter your whole life. You couldn't study well before, and now you can't even wait tables." Her face was full of disgust, as if looking at trash. The waiter glanced at Lily and turned to leave. Unhappy, Lily banged on the table, demanding the manager. I knew the manager wouldn't be coming, but instead a pot of boiling water. In my last life, Lily pulled me in front of her, and I got 65% of my body burned, my face completely destroyed. While I was struggling to survive in the hospital, my so-called family wrote a letter of forgiveness online, gaining countless sympathy and becoming big influencers. I looked toward the kitchen as the waiter walked over. I looked at my sister with a smile, grabbed my phone and said, "I'm heading to the bathroom." Lily pouted, covering her nose as if she were a fairy who never used a toilet. I quickly started recording on my phone and headed towards the bathroom. Just as I reached the door, I heard Lily's scream. It was even more sorrowful than in my past life. I didn't turn back immediately and calmly entered the bathroom. "Clara, come back." It was my mom shouting. "Come back for what?" I needed to use the bathroom. "Help, murder." Lily's screams were piercing. It was chaos outside. I splashed cold water on my face.
No rush.
Slowly but surely, the pain they caused me in my last life, I'll repay them. I looked in the mirror, seeing a beautiful woman whose eyes were full of malice. When I came out, Lily was wailing, my mom was beating up the waiter, and the manager was apologizing to my dad non-stop. In my last life, they hadn't been this emotional. At least the waiter wasn't beaten, just yelled at to pay for damages. Seeing me approach, Lily picked up the hot pot bowl and splashed it at me. She shouted, "Clara, why did you leave? Why am I the only one burned? I don't accept this." I quickly moved out of the way, shouting, "Who are you? Some ugly beast daring to hurt people randomly. You must be sick. I'll call the mental hospital to take you away." Finally, I could call her ugly. In the past, she'd hit and insult me that way. As expected, she was unwilling to let it go, but I dodged easily. The scalding soup ended up on an elderly lady behind me. "Oh, the pain. Help me," she cried as she passed out. Two middle-aged women with her cried, "Mom." One watched over the elderly lady while the other went looking for her family. In a moment, four strong men stood before Lily. Startled, she kept backing away. My parents immediately stepped in front of her, glaring angrily at me. Lily shouted angrily, "Clara, why did you dodge? I aimed at you. It's all your fault. If you didn't dodge, she wouldn't have been hurt." She turned and told the men, "Make her pay. She's pretty, can sell for a lot." Hearing her say this didn't surprise me at all. That's the kind of person she is. I replied coolly, "I don't know this disfigured woman. I suggest you call the cops. There's surveillance here and plenty of people recording videos. The culprit is clear as day." Lily had no way out. Dad snorted while Mom cried, "Clara, Lily's already in a tough spot. Can't you help her just this once?" I smiled wide, "No way. She brought this upon herself. She deserves it." Just as I said that, the ambulance arrived outside. They rushed to the hospital, but I didn't go with them. My parents yelled at me, calling me names, but I didn't go. In my mind are images of them tying me up and beating me, and streaming live online for sympathy while I was deep asleep from the sleeping pills they gave me. They revealed my burns to the viewers, attracting donations from sympathetic strangers. They set up numerous groups sharing my plight, and people who couldn't stand it kept sending them money. People like them, you shouldn't get close without some protection. I asked around who filmed the video and got a copy, especially of Lily's outrageous act. This time I'm curious to see them play the victim. I bought 3 security cameras and hid them in the house. I packed my luggage and went back to school. There's half a year until graduation, and I'm supposed to start an internship they know about, but I'm giving it up. While school offers more safety and lower costs, I'm working on protecting myself. I ordered a bunch of protective gear online, and signed up for one-on-one taekwondo and sanda classes at the school club. Just after a run, my mom called, "Clara, your sister is at the People's Hospital. Come help take care of her," she demanded confidently. I looked up at the sky, feeling nothing but coldness. It reminded me how, in my past life, I was alone at the hospital while they were too busy seeking compensation to hire a caregiver. But now with Lily, everyone must revolve around her. Seeing that I didn't reply, my mom shouted, "Clara, are you even human? Get over here immediately." I laughed softly. "Did you forget how she splashed hot pot on me? I'm no saint. How could I care for someone who wanted me dead? Lily deserves it." Mom was furious. I heard the sound of a cup shattering. "Clara, you're her sister. Can't you be a little forgiving? Lily didn't do it on purpose. She was just in a bad mood." I've heard that same excuse countless times growing up. I replied calmly, "We all get one life. Why should I make way for her? You're her mom. That's your responsibility. Take care of her yourself." Mom was breathing heavily over the phone, probably shocked I'd say something like that. After a moment she whispered, "Clara, your dad is still at the police station. Can you just grab some toiletries for me?" "No, I'm spooked by Lily today. I don't want to see you guys," I said and hung up. They don't deserve to be called parents. To me, they have zero credibility. Seeing them, I'd even want to kill them with my own hands. 2 weeks later, I heard through the surveillance they planned to marry me off to some fool, using the bride price of $50,000 to cover Lily's mess. I considered running away, but I wasn't willing to let it go. A plan flashed in my mind. The next day, my counselor found me at the Taekwondo club. "Your parents are at the school gate. They seem anxious, like they have something important for you. You've missed their call, so you should check it out." I didn't expect them this quickly. I nodded obediently, sent the counselor off, and finished my Taekwondo class before slowly heading out. They're cunning. I carried pepper spray and a taser for safety just in case. At the school gate, my parents were seething with anger. They'd been waiting over an hour and were visibly impatient. Seeing me, they quickly forced awkward smiles. I watched them unfeeling from inside the gate. Mom spoke gently, "Clara, we're here to take you home." I nearly laughed out loud. Since when did I have a home? I shook my head. I'm about to graduate. I'm working on my thesis, needing to research at the library. I don't have time to go back. Dad glared and raised his hand to hit me. "Clara, do you believe I'll kill you?" "Oh, I believe it. Didn't he beat me to death in a past life? A man like him is capable of anything." Mom pulled him back. "Clara, I know you're still angry with Lily. You're both my daughters. I can't bear either of you getting hurt. Lily's burns are bad, she's disfigured. Just forgive her." "There's no forgiving them, not a single one of them," I said coldly. "She didn't splash anything on me, so there's nothing to forgive or not forgive. She's a stranger to me, Whatever happens to her isn't my concern. Outside the school gate, my parents' faces turned sour. Dad lifted his hand again, and Mom didn't stop him this time. I quickly stepped back. I'm 18 now. You don't have to support me anymore. When you're old, I'll provide the bare minimum of support. As for Lily, I owe her nothing. Dad was nearly furious to death. He had his ID scanned to enter and rushed toward me. Mom yelled from behind, Clara, don't provoke your dad. He has high blood pressure. High blood pressure? If I could provoke him to death, I'd laugh myself awake in my dreams. For half a month, I've been running over 20 laps around the track daily. Today I'll outrun him. After a few minutes, Dad shouted, hey, someone stop that thief. So shameless, still resorting to lies. I yelled back, I'm Clara from the Business Management Department, senior year. He's a human trafficker. Someone please call the police. 2 nearby classmates recognized me. That's our senior. Everyone help catch the trafficker. Immediately, righteous classmates held him back. Dad was red-eyed with anger. I'm her dad, her real dad. Fellow classmates were displeased and said, what kind of father calls his daughter a thief? He's lying for sure. He looks vicious, not a good guy. Wow, he's got a knife in his pocket. Everyone be careful. He even carried a fruit knife around, probably meant for me. Ruthless. Am I really his biological daughter? I can't believe there's a father like that. Dad was glaring at me. She's my daughter and I'm taking her home today no matter what. I couldn't be bothered with him and turned to his classmate next to him. Hey classmate, can you check if he has any other dangerous stuff on him? This is a school and I worry about you guys' safety. My classmates were amazing. In minutes, they found a handkerchief and a bottle of clear liquid. Dad was struggling hard, his face full of anger. What you're doing is a crime. I'll sue all of you and get you expelled. He was threatening everyone here. I scoffed. This is a school. You have dangerous items on you, so you're a threat. We're just doing the world a favor. Then a super curious classmate picked up the handkerchief and sniffed it. He didn't take long to get dizzy and started to fall over. Thankfully, a nearby classmate caught him just in time. When my classmate fainted, Dad panicked. He managed to break free while everyone was shocked. I quickly shouted, guys, he's escaping, grab him. The man only made it a few steps before they caught him again. This time they pinned him down securely. Just as we were trying to drag him out of school, my mom showed up. She glared at me angrily. Clara, are you even human? That's your dad and you're treating him like this. She turned to the classmates holding my dad and yelled, let go of my husband immediately, or you'll regret this. We're old and can't handle this rough treatment. I gotta say, my mom's words got my classmates worried. Nowadays, people dread being accused by the elderly. Even if you have a ton of money, it won't save you from being accused. I coldly said, they're the bad guys and we're doing the right thing. We have so many witnesses here. How can a few words change anything? If things really go south, I'll take the blame. The college student's sense of justice kicked in again, and a few girls also restrained my mom. My parents started shouting obscenities, but the classmates began explaining, even bringing up Marxism and Mao Zedong thought. My parents went silent but occasionally shot me dirty looks. When we got outside the school gates, 2 cops came over. Dad got nervous and gave me a look. I laughed. He brought knockout drops and a knife and still thinks I'd speak for him? Not a chance. Explaining the situation briefly, the cops shot a cold glance at my parents. They denied everything, my mom crying out, injustice, officer, she's our daughter. How could we ever harm her? Dad was furious. This is a family matter. None of you can meddle. Choking back tears, I said, officer, they want to sell me to Burma. I'm so scared. I don't think they're my real parents. Can you help check? My parents froze, panic flashing briefly in their eyes. There must be something fishy going on. No wonder they've been so heartless to me. My mom pointed at my nose, scolding. Clara, do you have a conscience? We raised you for over 20 years, and this is how you repay us? You're an ungrateful wolf and will surely go to hell. They beat me nearly to death and call that a conscience? The ones who should go to hell are them. No matter how much they argued, once the knife and drugs came up, we all went to the police station. Even then, my parents tried to defend themselves, but there was a swarm of college students as witnesses. They were all taken into separate rooms for questioning. The whole incident had a really bad impact. Tons of students witnessed it and uploaded countless videos online, forcing the police to treat this seriously. Wiping my tears, I slowly explained why I believed they weren't my birth parents, even showing them the video where Lily threw hot pot on me. Their words were brutally mean, showing no hint of affection. A single paternity test could solve it, but I wanted to uncover the truth. Over 2 hours later, my dad was taken into custody. He took full responsibility for today's events. As for my parentage, they had an agreed story, found me as a baby in a trash heap. That? I don't believe it. Just leaving the station, my mom, well now just foster mom Wendy, pulled me aside. With a fawning face she pleaded, "Clara, can you write a statement of forgiveness, please?" I chuckled softly. "I have no mom, just an orphan. After how you treated me all these years, how dare you ask me to write a statement? Growing up, they made me sacrifice for my sister, assigning me all the chores, leaving me with her hand-me-downs, treating me like a dog. I started working part-time in high school. Most of my earnings they took. Only when I secretly did more tutoring in college did I save anything." Wendy paused, awkwardly smiling. "Clara, it was snowing that night. Had we not taken you in, you wouldn't be here now. We've raised you for decades. Can't you write one statement of forgiveness?" "No way. Not even if you killed me could I write that statement." Seeing I was silent, Wendy dropped to her knees with a thud. Quickly dodged. After facing death once before, I was wary of her draining my life's essence. Crying, Wendy said, "They want us to pay 50 grand, and Lily's surgery needs another 100 grand. Dad's our family's pillar. We can't do without him. Surgery? Dream on. Last time around they never brought up surgery." I said coldly, "Sell the house. You're not broke." Wendy shook her head vigorously. "No, that's our lifeline. We can't sell it, not even in death. So it's okay to sell me off, huh? Typical double standards." Smirking at her, I said, "Then make Lily into a huge influencer. She's in such a sorry state, surely some people will donate." Wendy's eyes lit up, eagerly asking, "How can she become a big influencer?" I laughed. "This time I want to see if they choose their daughter or the money." I smiled sweetly and said, "Post photos of her burns online. The sadder the better. To go viral fast, write an apology letter to that waiter." Wendy pondered, and I turned to leave. Knowing them, Lily would definitely become a net celeb. These were tricks they used in my last life. Now it's Lily's turn to experience them. Not long after returning to school, Wendy called. "Clara, why'd you run off so quickly? You're smart. Get back here and help us out. Look at all the shameless things," she said. "If they drag me back, is it gonna end well for me?"
I calmly replia, No, Lily smart.
She knows what to do. By the way, since we aren't blood related, just don't contact me unless it's necessary." Hearing what I said made the person on the other end jump up in anger. Wendy pointed at my nose and cursed for half an hour, saying the nastiest things. I listened obediently, occasionally letting out words of surprise, sadness, and regret. Once she was almost done, I quietly said I was going to write a letter of forgiveness for Mike, but after hearing you rant like that, I realized you guys don't deserve my forgiveness. Wendy paused for a moment, then screamed, "Clara, I was wrong. I was just momentarily blinded. I'll slap myself twice, okay? Please forgive me." I heard 2 slaps over the phone, not sure if they were real or fake. Wendy sobbing, "Clara, you're such a good person, you'll forgive us, right? Come back and we can become big influencers together." Ever since they cut off my tongue in my past life, I've had no desire to be the good person anymore. I've had enough of being their punching bag. No thanks, let Lily be the big influencer. Didn't she get disfigured? It's the tragedy that'll make her famous. Oops, seems I hit a nerve with Wendy. She shouted angrily, "Clara, you'll get what's coming to you." After hanging up, I turned on the surveillance. Wendy was sitting on the couch, seething. She snarled, "I'll go to the school tomorrow and trick her into coming home, then disfigure her face to make her the big influencer." Lily wore a hat and mask, only her sinister eyes visible. How can she attend school peacefully while living better than me? She needs to suffer more than me. "Mom, I'm not satisfied. I want to kill her." Wendy hugged her and patted her back, saying, "Don't worry, Lily. As long as we make her suffer, she'll earn money for your surgery and buy you a mansion." Lily replied coldly, "I don't want to hear her voice. Trick her into coming home tomorrow. Let's cut her tongue out first. So that's why they cut out my tongue in my past life. I knew they were vile, but a cold sweat still broke out on my back. I wanted to take this evidence to the police, but they'd probably just give them a warning. The main reason Mike got detained was the date rape drug. They need to investigate its source. Otherwise, the police can't do much since no real harm was caused. I checked all my bank cards, only 5,526 yuan in total. After considering carefully, I decided to run away. If I had the money, I would have left the moment I was reborn. But being broke sucks. Even taekwondo and sanda were offered at a discount by generous classmates. Otherwise, I couldn't even have signed up. I went to my counselor to explain the situation and revealed some family issues. She sighed, "Don't worry, this is a school. They can't bully my students." In my past life, when I was disfigured, she brought classmates to visit me, encouraging me to overcome the trauma, but I never stepped out. I said, teary-eyed, "Teacher, I don't want to get tangled up with them anymore. After all, they raised me for over 20 years. No matter what, I'm the junior and I can't win. Outsiders will say they have it tough and that I should be more forgiving. It's easy for them to preach when they're not in my shoes. As long as they play the pitiful card, people will always sympathize with the weak. I saw through this in my past life. My counselor told me not to worry about school. She'd handle it. She gave me a big hug and I packed up and left that night. I took a high-speed train to Chengdu, then a bus to Guiyang. To quickly find a place with room and board, I went straight into a factory job screwing parts. Surprisingly, it felt fine. At least no one was calling me a thankless wretch. My mom went to my school several times but got nowhere. She confronted my counselor demanding for me, but the teacher just reported it to the police. Some people you just can't reason with. You say one thing and they rant for half an hour without repeating themselves. The police called me. I cried saying they want to sell me off. Should I just wait to be sold? I don't like them. I even hate them. Yeah, they raised me, but I never said I wouldn't take care of them in old age. I'm 18 now and can choose my own life. Wendy was cursing at me from the side. Even the police couldn't stop her. I smirked slightly, speaking in a cold tone. See, with parents like this, why would I go back? I'm not a masochist. I'm a living, breathing person. After hanging up, I went out and treated myself to a hot pot to celebrate. A week later, I stumbled across Lily's pity party video online. In the end, they chose money. In the video, Lily showed her severe burns looking terrifying. She cried dramatically, telling her story, and even asked the audience if she should write the waitress a letter of forgiveness. Viewers sympathized with her, slamming the waitress, and the video blew up, gaining over 200,000 followers overnight. Nicely done. I couldn't help but give her a thumbs up. The higher the stand, the harder the fall. The next day, Lily went live, writing the forgiveness letter, crying as she did, and posted her PayPal account, hoping viewers would donate. Wendy sympathetically chimed in about how hard it was, mentioning how Mike went to find me but ended up in jail. Of course, she left out the drugging and knife part, claiming they just wanted me to visit Lily but got misunderstood and thrown into jail. She expertly manipulated viewers against me, multiplying the online abuse I faced. Nicely done. I wanted them to enjoy their moment a bit longer, but it wasn't necessary anymore. A few days later, I heard they'd given the waitress the letter of forgiveness, and donations hit over 2 million, enough for quite a party. I quickly released a video of Lily cursing the waitress and her throwing hot pot broth at people. The caption: "The pitiful are often despicable." I spent $1,000 on ad boosts and commented under Lily's videos to drive traffic. Soon my video went viral too. Lily's video soon became a comment-bashing spree. People online are absolutely fed up with scammers who think they can play them for fools. Lily was crying and insisting that wasn't her. She claimed it was an AI-generated video and that she's innocent. She even guessed it was the server who did it since she had just sent out an apology letter, and then the video surfaced. Who else could it be? Wendy, wiping her tears, asked everyone if they could take back the apology letter. "We don't want to be the good guys anymore," she sobbed. This new video caused a shift in public opinion. Half the people online were still supporting them, a few were skeptical, and the rest were calling them fake saints. I don't get why they're struggling. I mean, they knew they shot that video themselves. I've got 5 or 6 videos from different angles on my phone, Maybe they think the internet is just stupid and the one who cries the hardest deserves sympathy. People do tend to root for the underdog. I posted 2 more videos from other angles. Captioned it, "Are AIs really this smart now? Altering angles and everything?" Before I could upload more, the server showed up with footage from the hot pot restaurant surveillance. She even posted some chat logs where Lily had threatened her, and included some 60-second voice recordings of Lily hurling insults at her. She captioned it, "I'd rather go to jail than be humiliated by her. I've got a temper, but I only lash out at those who deserve it." Now there's no way Lily could talk her way out of this. I messaged the school counselor saying Mike going ballistic at school is fair game to post online. She'd been wanting to post it for a while. I just asked her to hold off. In no time, the internet was flooded with videos of Mike and Wendy wreaking havoc at school. Tons of students recorded it from every angle, and some even shared their own thoughts at the end. That stuff about the drugged candy and the knife was in every clip. The drug student shared their story, advising viewers to stay cautious, even of family. The counselor also posted a video stating, "Clara is a star student here, and we are committed to her safety." The police informed us she wasn't their biological daughter. They found her in a dumpster and came to school planning to drug her and sell her for $500,000. Lily panicked. She went live from the rooftop. Wendy was there with swollen eyes, begging her to reconsider. "Oh, she's playing the prove her innocence by dying card. I'm not buying it. She just wants everyone to give in. Even if she's wrong, she wants forgiveness. Otherwise, everyone would be guilty of her death." Lily sobbed to the camera, "Can't you guys just believe me? Or do you need me to die first?" Half the online comments were outright bashing her, telling her to jump already. People just weren't buying her act anymore. Heartbroken, Lily said, "If my death can make you happy, maybe I should just die?" Wendy wasn't gonna let her do it. Crying, she choked out, "Let me go, I'm 48 and I've lived my life. You're only 18, haven't even fallen in love or become a mom. Your life has barely begun." Lily shook her head, her face drenched in tears. A scary sight to behold with her damaged face. Gotta hand it to her, she's a pretty decent actress. Enough to get some folks back on her side, pitying her. They were making excuses for her, saying she's just straightforward, not ill-intentioned. That customers are king, so what if she yelled at a server? That she's young, and her face being wrecked is enough punishment. She deserves a second chance. With more people supporting her, Lily cried harder while reading the comments. She pitifully said, "Yeah, I yelled at the server, but she ignored me for half an hour. Can't I complain a bit? Don't we consumers deserve better treatment than getting hot water thrown on us? Did I really do something wrong by trying to make my own boiling water?" The comments started leaning in her favor. People were like, "Well, maybe she's just got a hot temper. It's not that big of a deal, right?" In no time, most of the comments were coming from supporters again. Lily totally nailed this little live performance. Before long, the cops showed up with Mike in tow. The guy lost a lot of weight. Jail evidently wasn't treating him kindly. Mike was almost in tears, his voice shaking. "Lily, come down here. I can't lose you two. These online folks don't know jack, blabbing nonsense everywhere." The called-out viewer stayed quiet, knowing he had a point. Seeing their comments, Lily worked up some courage, going into more detail about her hardships. Her tears seemed endless, wiping them only for more to flow. "If I know her, she's got something up her sleeve," which explains the convincing performance. The cops clarified. Mike's detainment was part of a sting operation. "We've busted the drug factory, so crimes canceled each other out, so he's free to go home." A public reminder. Knowingly buying illegal goods makes you guilty of trafficking. According to Article 312, if you know something's illegal and you hide it or help sell it, you could get up to 3 years. If it's worse, it jumps to 7. I knew this already. The police told me yesterday. Mike sure got lucky. Him getting out is alright. Spending time in jail would have been a drag without much lasting impact on him. Looking ashamed, Mike bowed to the audience online. "I failed as a father to Lily. I didn't raise her right. I should be the one to die. But I hope you can be lenient with her. She's just 18, still a child." Wendy cried beside him, wanting to die herself. These three are like characters in a drama. Their words say one thing, but their actions tell another story. But the viewers don't see through them. They keep making excuses for the trio's past moments and start showering them with gifts for comfort. Their play was a massive success. Lily's followers hit 10 million. Her profile added a PayPal link as well. When the stream ended, I monitored the surveillance cameras. Sure enough, they showed up at home shortly after. Wendy looked smug. Pretty good idea, right? I came up with it. We just made over $1 million in gifts from the live stream. And there's some fool still transferring money to our PayPal. Lily rushed to wash her hands, forcing a creepy smile. Good thing we had onions or I'd never be able to cry like that. If I wasn't such a good actress, do you think they'd be on our side? Mike laughed out loud. Not bad, not bad. My daughter's got brains. But as for Clara, I want her gone. How dare she treat me like this? If it weren't for that fortune teller saying an adopted kid would bring us luck, why would I even raise her? I've taken care of her for over 20 years. So what if she's marrying a fool? Wendy nodded eagerly. Yes, yes, yes. Let's make a few million more, sell Claire off to Myanmar, and then we can enjoy life abroad. Yeah. It's so easy to fool internet users here in China. I act pitiful and we rake in millions. Heck, I feel like we could scam billions. I uploaded their audio online without the visuals. They still have image rights, so a complaint would have gotten it taken down. The audio lasted for 3 minutes, with tons of insults directed at the online community. I wasn't sure if the fair weather fans would get mad or not. In the comments, I posted a message with a screenshot of $1,000 transfer. The caption read, "So this is how you guys really are. This is illegal fundraising, and I've reported it to the police." It didn't take long for the video to blow up. Donors posted screenshots in the comments, saying they wanted to sue them. Lily's video was flooded with hate. Nobody wants to be played for a fool. Panicking, the trio posted a video claiming the audio was fake, and that people misunderstood their situation. However, no one believed them this time. Folks compared the audio to what was recorded in the hot pot restaurant and figured out it was definitely their voices. Lily went crazy at home, while Wendy called the police, claiming someone broke into their house. Otherwise, how could the audio be leaked? Shortly after, the police arrested all of them, not because they called the cops but because countless netizens reported them for fund fraud. Wendy and Lily went to jail while Mike, who wasn't involved, got released. While Mike was smashing things at home, someone entered. Before he could react, they covered his mouth and dragged him to the bathroom. The intruder said menacingly, "Because of you, my boss is in jail. They also took all our money. I can't even support my wife and kids now. I'm gonna kill you." Mike ended up dead, chopped into bits and thrown into the sewer. If the pipe hadn't clogged, he might not have been found. Lily went insane, clearly out of it, and was sent to a mental hospital. Later, that server got a job there. I visited her once. She's truly lost it. She's a 400-pound giant who looks terrifying enough to scare ghosts. Plus, there are a lot of new and old scars on her body. When she sees people, she crawls into a corner muttering, "I was wrong, I was really wrong, I won't do it again." Seeing her like this, I felt relieved. Wendy got 15 years in prison. Their funds were all frozen. Not a penny left. Now I can finally go to work in peace and return home safe. The police reached out, saying they found my birth parents, but I think I'm better off alone. I don't want to get too involved. I guess I'm going to have trust issues for a long time. The end.